And it's week 12, the last week of the regular season for the SFL. And the playoff picture will be taking shape today and the rest of the games tomorrow and on Monday. But first, we got the New Orleans Pharaohs coming in at 4-7, Baltimore Vultures at 7-4, live from Vultures Field in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm Jeff Melanishin. Joining me in the booth is Eddie Gage. Eddie, how are you doing today?
What up, though? I'm excited for an interesting weekend of SFL action. As you stated, we're all waiting with anticipated breath as this playoff scenario unfolds.
And New Orleans can still make it into the playoffs, but they need all 10 games this week to go their way, along with getting the win here today. So, Eddie, what do you see from New Orleans in order to get that victory that they need so badly?
Well, these two teams just played a few weeks ago. New Orleans came up 1 point short of a victory. They're looking to reverse that trend today, and to do so, they have to rely on that number one rated third down defense to get things going. Baltimore is going to be looking to run the ball down their throats as New Orleans ranks last in rushing defense. In order to get a victory today, they're going to have to find a way to stop Baltimore's run game.
I'm sure that somebody they're going to look to get going is Reggie Streeter, who, for the most part, has been virtually non-existent through the season, which is kind of hard to believe given what he did last season.
Oh, absolutely. Last season was an MVP type season for this young man. He hasn't gotten the opportunities as he is normally consistent to receiving in London. Can they find a way to get him to be more productive today?
And we are underway, and bringing it out is the Baltimore Vultures. They will get the ball to start. That was Giovanni Bolt. Giovanni Bolt bringing it up to the 25-yard line. So that's where we will see Mike Dazzo and the Baltimore Vultures offense. At halfback, it's T-Roy Gaines. The receiving corps, Ivory Irvin, Daley Holder, Mac Chima. And then the tight end, of course, Lloyd Graham Jr. Those are the starters for the Baltimore Vultures on offense. As Mike Dazzo goes under center. He's got T-Roy in the backfield. Dazzo dropping back, pressure coming, and he's going to fire deep down the field, and it's going to be caught. And just like that, Daley Holder, he's at the 10, the 5, touchdown, one play, one touchdown, and just like that, Baltimore takes the early lead, 6-0.
I must be a good luck charm for this Baltimore defense. Every game I've called this season, they've scored within seconds of their opening drive, whether it's been a kickoff return, a long pass, and in this one, as you stated, a long pass out deep to right to the receiver there. New Orleans caught peeking in the backfield, came out in press coverage, and he blew right by him. Touchdown. 7-0 Baltimore, extra point pending.
And that is touchdown number 45 in the career of Daley Holder, and boy, that was a big one. First strike, first play, all the way down for a touchdown. And coming out for the extra point is Shark Tarkington.
I'm still blown away by that touchdown, just that quick.
Just like that. That's not something that New Orleans is going to have to work on that defense, especially if they want to come out with the win. And Tarkington with the extra point through the uprights down the middle. And just like that, 7-0 early here in the first quarter. But how demoralizing is that, Eddie? I mean, you're head coach in the SFL. How demoralizing is that, the first play of the game, to give up that kind of touchdown?
Well, to be honest with you, I won't say I'm too surprised. New Orleans looking to stop this running game. They know they rank last in rush defense. They got the box stacked, and they're trying to get help on the inside to slow down this rushing game. But before you know it, the ball is sailing right over the top of their cornerback's head, and this is not a good place to be in. Because if you can't stop the pass, and you're already weak in the run games, it sets the table for a long day defensively for this team.
As Aaron Arrington absolutely took some moves out of the playbook of T-Roy Gaines and brings the ball up to the 35. So a couple spin moves, and New Orleans is in perfect territory to try to tack on and add to, or try to tie the game up at 7, as Xander Gold will go under center on this first down play. 10:40 in the first quarter, just like that. Quick strike from Baltimore just a series ago. Xander Gold throws it. It's going to be intercepted. Going back the other way, Kaz McFly. What an interception, and that is not what Xander Gold had in mind on this opening drive. Looking to tack on and tie the game at 7.
Kaz McFly, you got the ball going across his body to the opposite hash mark. That ball cannot be late. That's a timing route. He was late on a throw, and Baltimore, once again, could not have started this game out any better on both sides of the ball.
Boy, oh boy, Kaz McFly. What a play. He had one interception last week, and here, back-to-back weeks with an interception. Mike Dazzo goes under center. Going to be a handoff to T-Roy going up the middle, and he will get up to the 30-yard line before he's going to be tackled on the play by Levant Irvine.
New Orleans has to gather their composure and find a way to hold this team to a field goal attempt if they can.
Let's take a look at Dazzo's numbers thus far. Just still, that one play touchdown was a beaut as T-Roy Gaines trucking through guys and taking the Pharaohs all the way down to the 11-yard line, setting up in the SFL red zone just like that. 2 plays.
The defensive end lost contain, couldn't keep his outside shoulder free. Left tackle got his arms on him, wouldn't let him go, and he was off to the races.
New Orleans on defense needs to come up and make a stand here soon. Maybe hold Baltimore to a field goal. That would be the best scenario. Dazzo under center. Slow drop back, and he's going to throw it across the middle of the field. Lloyd Graham Jr., Daley Holder with another reception and another touchdown. Or it was Lloyd Graham Jr. with the reception, and that's his first touchdown of the game. And just like that, Baltimore is just all over the Pharaohs early and often in the first quarter.
Lloyd Graham, indeed, that's his first touchdown. He comes in ranked 5th in catches for all tight ends across the SFL. Tacks on another one there, along with his first touchdown. He's celebrating. I'm sure his mom is happy as well. Baltimore is come out guns blazing.
And just last week, Lloyd Graham Jr. with 2 receptions for 24 yards did not find the end zone. And here, a quick 11-yard catch for a touchdown. He actually dragged the defender in, so they couldn't even bring him down. And the big body of Lloyd Graham Jr. gets into the end zone as the extra point by Tarkenton is through the uprights and good. It's just like that, 14 in a blink of an eye. The Baltimore Vultures on top of the Pharaohs with 9:29 left to go in the first quarter. I mean, it's only been not even 2 minutes into the game, and just like that, 14-0.
Baltimore is looking to make a statement going into the playoffs, putting the entire league on notice that they are not done yet. Yes, we know Atlanta's out here doing things, but don't forget about us.
And Baltimore with the loss last week. A loss here would actually drop them to possibly the wild card, depending on how other games go, as Arrington in the end zone would be brought out to the 20.
Yeah, Baltimore's pretty upset right now still, thinking about that loss in a waning moments versus Florida. Looking to come out and rebound strong.
We got Reggie Streeter, halfback for the Pharaohs, the receiving core, Badir Ajloni, Deezer Powell, Ermic Jackson, and the tight end, Yassine Clifton, make up the rest of the offense for the Pharaohs as Xander Gold from shotgun dropping back. He's going to be hit, and he's trying to get out of it, but he's eventually going to get sacked. Chad Rowland and Surron Yates IV coming up and getting in the backfield.
I'm beginning to wonder what that pregame speech was like with the head coach before this game, because Baltimore is come out on fire here tonight.
A loss of 6 sets up a 2nd and 16. Backed up in their own end zone, or backed up in their own territory, now at the 14. Xander Gold, empty set shotgun formation, throwing across the middle. The pass will be caught by Clifton with his first on the day and gets the ball past the 20 to the 21.
New Orleans needs to find a way to calm this crowd down, as right now they are buzzing. They need to just find a way to just get some yards here, some easy throws, and regain some momentum.
Xander Gold, shotgun formation yet again, 3rd and 9. They need to convert, throwing it deep. He's got a man, but it falls incomplete. And out wide was Hendricks Thornberry, and it falls incomplete as Thornberry had a better chance at the reception than the receiver did.
He sure did. I'm not sure if that was miscommunication or what have you, but that pass had never been thrown. He was covered like a blanket.
And the defensive starters for the Vultures, we already mentioned Chad Rowland, Surron Yates IV, the defensive ends. Defensive tackle, Tucker Lewis. The linebacking core, Joe Dazzo. Amon Takes. The secondary, Kaz McFly, already has 1 interception. Marvin Hendricks Thornberry, Giovanni Bolt at the free safety spot, strong safety Tony Willis as the starters for the Vultures. As the kick is away, Giovanni Bolt with a good spin move and getting the ball up to midfield into Gary Markin, just short of midfield actually at his own 49. And just like that, Joe Dazzo and company with a great opportunity to even tack on more points.
Excellent starting field position for this Baltimore offense. Already coming in averaging 30 points a game. Looking to add on to it here.
First down and 10 from their own 49-yard line. Joe Dazzo drop it back, and he's going to fire a missile, and it will be caught, getting a first down into Pharaohs territory. What a play, and this offense is clicking on all cylinders early in the first quarter.
The two hardest routes to defend as a corner is a slant and an arrow. You're thinking that the receiver's going to go upfield. Meanwhile, he's running across the field, and it's just a hard play to defend.
$7:51 left to go in the first quarter. Dazzo under center. He's got T-Roy Gaines in the backfield. 4 down linemen for the Pharaohs on defensive side. Give you a handoff to T-Roy going up the middle. He gets out of a tackle, and he's still going. He's got enough for the first down all the way down to the 25-yard line before Arrington coming up and making the tackle.
You can see the game plan of New Orleans coming into this game to pack the box, but it did not matter there. His right guard and his center got great blocks downfield, sealing off a big hole for T-Roy to get through, and he wasn't touched until he was about 5 or 6 yards downfield, Jeff.
That'll be easy pickings for Gaines, who's really good running the football, and he can break out of tackles. So if you're giving him 5, 6, 7 yards of pop, he could break a tackle and take it to the house on you very quick as he gets another handoff. And this one will go for a small gain as Irvine coming up and making the tackle, holding Gaines to a gain of 2.
Irvine comes into this game amongst the league leaders in tackling. He comes in with 111th, which is 7th in the entire SFL.
It's Jeff Duffy and Chad asking what happened. Well, Mike Dazzo just fired a missile to Daly Holder on the first play of the game for 7. Cass McFly with an interception on the first throw. As across the middle, it's going to be Lloyd Graham Jr. who gets another reception and brings the ball into the 10-yard line.
Watching this game and this game plan so far, this is the exact same play, just a different formation that Arizona was killed very slowly last week with against Las Vegas. Looks like they've been sharing some plays out their playbook.
And then after the quick interception, just to harp on that point again, the interception by Cass McFly, and then it resulted in a touchdown for Graham here, so 14. And taking bodies with him, T-Roy Gaines, all the way down to the New Orleans 6-yard line. He's now up to 38 yards a carry, or 38 yards in the game.
In a moment, someone from New Orleans is going to be filing a police report for assault with the hits that T-Roy is putting on here tonight.
Can the Pharaohs on defense do anything to slow this offense down? T-Roy with another carry. He's going to get a short gain up to the 5. And coming up, laying the lumber, Bryce Lincoln.
Another one of these playmakers for New Orleans. They have a bunch of tacklers on their team, and they're going to need a big one here if they want to get off the field.
3rd and goal, the first 3rd down for the Baltimore Vultures. And Dazzo throws it to the back of the end zone. It was almost intercepted, but it falls incomplete as Tank Bennett, the strong safety and perfect coverage to get the interception, but it holds Tarkington to a field goal opportunity.
Yeah, he only has 3 interceptions on the season, but he's the SFL leader in tackling, coming in with 147. He'd like another shot at that one to prevent the field goal attempt there and get his offense back on the field.
Yeah, hit him right in the hands and bounce to the turf for incompletion. And Tarkington will come on for his first field goal opportunity of the game. As the snap was a little low, but he's still able to kick it through the uprights and good. And it's a 17-0 ball game. But more importantly is Baltimore still tacking on points. But give credit, New Orleans, they might have found something there on defense that they could take with them through the rest of the game.
Given that starting field position Baltimore had to start this drive, that's a moral victory for this New Orleans defense.
And And already down 17, looking for just anything to get to right the ship here a little bit for the Pharaohs. And that's something that they could definitely take with them, as Arrington will bring it out 3 yards deep out of his own end zone. And he'll bring it up to around the 20-yard line. So that's where Alexander Gold will start the next series.
New Orleans, not even 6 minutes into this game, already down 17. But the good news is there's a lot of game left to be played. No need to get away from the game plan just yet.
Well, I think the stats truck, we got Tom Rahman and Rochelle Colston doing the stats for us. The two-headed monster, the dynamic duo, is with us today. As Alexander Gold throws it out to Reggie Streeter, getting his first reception. And just like that, picking up a gain of 3. But Joe Dazzo and company were there to meet him.
He gets a lot of catches. He comes into the SFL, into this game, 6 in catches with 72.
But more importantly, can the New Orleans offense get a drive going? They have not done that yet, as it's a 2nd and 7. Alexander Gold will go under center. He's got Reggie Streeter in the backfield. Alexander Gold, 5-step drop, going to fire to Reggie Streeter coming out of the backfield. Takes a guy with him. That was Kaz McFly, but Joe Dazza was there. Johnny on the spot to get the tackle of Reggie Streeter, but boy, oh boy, did he take Kaz McFly and shove it back like 10 yards.
Now you see where their 5.8 yards per carry comes from this young man. He catches the ball and does something with it. That time, he trucked the would-be tackler.
3rd and 2, very manageable 3rd down. New Orleans needs to convert here. Alexander Gold from under center, going to fire it out. Pass is going to be caught. And that is a reception for Badir Angeloni, who's going to get the first down and move the ball up to the 40-yard line.
First down, but he paid for it. As soon as he caught that ball, he didn't have a chance to protect himself. Big hit by the defense.
Alexander Gold, very unlike him, 27 yards, 1 interception, has not been the start that he was hoping for in a playoff game here in Week 12 for the New Orleans Pharaohs. And throwing it underneath, and it's going to be caught as Alexander Gold with another completion to Angeloni before Kaz McFly and Joe Dazzo were there to make the tackle.
Angeloni coming to this game with 744 yards receiving, 13 and a half per. Looking to make a statement today to get his team back into this ball game.
Second and 3. Got it fired out to Reggie Street coming out of the backfield, and he's going to get adjusted for a first down before he's going to be tackled over there by the Baltimore secondary. I believe that was Willis making the tackle.
Wow, they are laying the lumber out here tonight, Jeff.
Hey, that's what you got to do. Baltimore's been laying the lumber like all season, and it's not something it's not something new to them. They have some playmakers on defense, and it really shows. As Alexander Gold getting his second first down on the drive. He'll hand it off to Reggie, trying to go outside, but what a tackle out there. I got to see, that was Frank Smith with a diving tackle on Reggie Streeter and holds him for a gain of 1, and it looked like he had the blocks out wide.
He did, but Baltimore was smart. They've been watching film on those side of the field before the snap, and they were ready for that play.
2nd and 9 inside Vultures territory for the first time today are the Pharaohs. Alexander Gold, shotgun formation, going to fire it deep across the middle of the field, but it's going to be intercepted. And going back the other way, Tony Willis with his first interception of the game. That's the second for Alexander Gold. And having to make the tackle was Badir Angeloni.
First interception of the game, 4th on the season. Baltimore sitting back in umbrella coverage, nowhere to go. And that ball should just either been thrown away or checked down.
He had the receiver, but just underthrew it was Alexander Gold, and Tony Willis, Johnny on the spot, getting the interception. And for Tony Willis, that is his 39th career interception. 17-0 with 2:43 left to go in the first quarter. And T-Roy bouncing off guys. He is loose. He's past midfield. Looks like he's going to go. He's got one guy chasing him who can catch him, but I don't think it's going to happen. Tank Pettit cannot make the tackle. T-Roy Gaines having a game, and he's into the end zone for his house call for 6. And just like that, 23-0, Baltimore on top of the New Orleans Pharaohs.
T-Roy adding unto that yards per carry average takes this one, I don't know, about a billion yards. I couldn't see the number of the defender who tried to tackle him initially, but he got ran over, and T-Ray must have had a light breakfast this morning because he was able to keep scampering downfield and just got into the end zone before being tackled to the ground.
T-Roy had 16 carries for 25 yards last week against Florida, and he just topped all of that on that just one run, and already he is just making guys look absolutely silly. And T-Roy's already up to 102 yards and a touchdown, so that's a 14.6 yards per carry. If he could keep that up, he might. I mean, what we're seeing from the New Orleans defense, I mean, they need to step it up big time.
Big time indeed. I remember one time a coach told me when we were down big, son,
This extra point is up and through.
there's good news and bad news. The bad news is we're down big. The good news is there's a lot of time left. What are you going to do about it?
And playing for your playoff lives on top of that, it just adds to the fire. And the way that they came out nonchalant in the first drive, as Mike Dazzo it seemed to just deflate the entire New Orleans game plan, their self-esteem, everything just came out on that one play to Daly Holder. As the kick from Tarkenton could be fielded 4 yards deep in the end zone, and Arrington would just have to take the knee. And so Alexander Gold, he's got 39 yards. He's 6 of 8, 75% completion, but those 2 interceptions have just been killers for the Pharaohs, as it's led to 14 unanswered points, and now up to 24 unanswered points. As Alexander Gold under center, I formation, Alexander Gold dropping back, pressure starting to collapse, and he is going to be sacked by Chad Rowland. He's going to get in there for his first full sack of the game. He had a half sack a couple series ago, and Chad Rowland meeting Alexander Gold in the backfield. This defensive line has come to play.
Coming in with 2.5 sacks into this ball game, Chad Rowland is looking to double that tonight or today.
Chad Rowland now in the rest of the defensive line. 3-man rush, and throwing it across the middle. It'll be caught, and getting the ball up to the 21-yard line. Number 12 for the New Orleans Pharaohs. That would be the receiver, Eric Arrington, with his first grab.
New Orleans has to find a way to right this ship. In third and 9, third and long is a challenging time.
Alexander Gold dropped back, 3rd and 9. He's going to chuck it deep. He's got a receiver wide open, and that will be all the way down. He was chased from behind, but Deezer Powell with his first grab, and it goes all the way to the Baltimore 30-yard line before Kaz McFly had to make the tackle.
Deezer Powell, the team leader in catches and yards, got a big one there for his team, and hopefully he can try and change the momentum of this ball game and get New Orleans back in it.
Giovanni Bolt with the tackle, and going on in the other game, Houston-Seattle. Houston is losing 10-7 early in that one. That game is going on the SFL Twitch, as we have 5 games today, I believe. And so getting the carry here, Reggie Streeter, he has not been going, and it's showing as Amon Takes coming up and laying the boom.
Yeah, he tried to take that ball off left tackle, but that small hole that he had closed up rather quickly.
We have 4 games in store today. We got 2 going on right now. Houston, Seattle on the Twitch. And here, Baltimore and New Orleans is Alexander Gold throwing it across the middle of the field into double coverage, and he got the reception somehow, and just like that, clipped him with another grab. But boy, Alexander Gold is playing with fire with those 2 interceptions.
6'7", 265. He used his big body to reel that ball in. I mean, sometimes they can look covered, but they just use their size and strength to get those tough catches. A tight end can be a quarterback's best friend.
Amon Takes wasn't covered, just wasn't able to get his big hand up in the air quick enough. And inside the red zone for the first time is Alexander Gold. He's going to have to chuck it underneath the Streeter. The fullback. And he cannot get going. He does pick up a gain of 2. Brock Terrigan Tagarian with the reception. And so we've come to the end of a very fast-moving first quarter. Baltimore all over the Pharaohs, picking apart. It's 24-0. Stay tuned for the second quarter right after this. Start of the second quarter, as the Pharaohs will now go left to right at the 5-yard line. As Xander Gold taking the shotgun snap, going to fire it underneath, and the pass will be caught right there, but that is going to be up to around the 3-yard line, and getting the reception is for his first one of the day, Airmac Jackson.
That was a smart decision there by New Orleans. No one was open. He checked it down and got what the defense gave him.
Thank you, everybody, tuning in the YouTube chat. Minston Mine, Chad Rowland, Tim Russell, Christian Punt. Everybody else, Optimus Klein, Teflon Ron Yates. As Xander Gold heading up to Reggie Streeter, and he is going to bounce it into the end zone. He didn't have a touchdown last week, and here he gets on the board. That is career touchdown number 43 for Reggie Streeter. And just like that, tacking on 6 points and looking to make this back a ball game.
Reggie Streeter took advantage of what Baltimore gave him on that situation. Baltimore was packing the paint, so to speak, in basketball terms, pinching down inside the middle. He just took it off tackle and walked into the end zone untouched.
And what a drive that was. As that was an 8-play, 79-yard drive for the New Orleans Pharaohs, and it was resulting in a 3-yard rush for Reggie Streeter. And coming on to attempt the extra point is Austin Powers, and the kick is up and through the uprights and good. So it's a 24-7 ball game. And Eddie, give credit to the Pharaohs. They were down 24, but finally it looks like they slowed the tide a little bit. They got the stop that they needed, held Baltimore to 3 points, but they got the touchdown. And just how good is that for the team to know that you can get down the field?
It's a big morale booster knowing you can put points on the board, in particular 7 points, rather than selling for 3, as they were able to do on that play. And a risky throw on second down, and a big reception by Yassine Clifton, and they're right back in this game.
And bringing the ball up to the 22-yard line, Giovanni Bolt looking to get a little shifty with a couple spin moves, and it was able to bring it up positive yard up to the 22. He's been a good returner for the Baltimore Vultures. He's got 1 punt return and 1 kick return touchdown in the season. And he's definitely one of the guys you need to worry about when facing them. As Dazzo under center, T-Roy Gaines in the backfield. Dazzo drop it back, gonna have to fire it out, and the pass will be caught, and for a gain of 4, Daly Holder with, I believe that's his first reception since he had that big bomb on the first play of the drive.
You catch bombs like that in the very first play of the game, and there are going to be a lot of eyes on you. So,
2nd and 5 from their own 27. Dazzo under center. T-Roy in the backfield. Dazzo's going to fire to T-Roy coming out of the backfield. He's got enough down. He has a block out in front, but he says, "Get out of here. I don't need blocks." And he's going to bring it up to their own 41-yard line as T-Roy Gaines getting shimmy with it.
Yeah, the left guard, Kirk Lawrence, got 1 block downfield, was looking to make another one, but T-Roy just ran right past him, said, "I'll take it over from here, buddy."
Dante West with the tackle on T-Roy Gaines. That's not something that's easy to do, as we witnessed a drive a series ago where T-Roy just absolutely ran through the Pharaohs defense en route to a 72-yard touchdown. As Dazzo firing it out and wide open, Daly Holder.
They ruled him incomplete.
They did rule him incomplete. I thought that was a grab. It looked good from up here. Got to see if they want to go in and challenge that.
Yeah, it was close, but I think that left foot didn't quite get down. The right one was definitely out of bounds.
And so they're going to rule it incomplete, and they will not waste the time out here for the challenge. That's probably good, seeing as something might come up later in the game. As Dazzo under center, T-Roy Gaines in the backfield. 2nd and 10, handoff to T-Roy Gaines, who's just trucking through the line. Trucks through 3 guys. He's still going. Does he break away speed? Yes, he does. T-Roy Gaines with another long touchdown run, and just like that, already it's just New Orleans just cannot do anything on defense. And T-Roy Gaines just showed that the Pharaohs are not up to his level to tackle him in the open field.
T-Roy came into this game tied with Pseudo Nakai of Vancouver, 18 total touchdowns. Looking to end the season clearly as the number one back. Scampers all the way downfield, truck a couple of defenders en route to it. Once again, New Orleans packed the paint, and they were unable to do anything about it. Touchdown, Baltimore, once again.
4 plays, 78 yards, 59-yard touchdown run from T-Roy Gaines, his second of the day, which brings his total up to 161 yards on 8 attempts. So he's averaging 20 yards per carry, which is just mind-blowing, as the extra point from Tarkington is through the uprights and good, making it a 31-7 ball game.
If New Orleans wants to get back into this game, they have to shore up this run defense, because this is quite honestly embarrassing.
Derek Tuttle, when do the playoffs start? They start next week. This is week 12 of the SFL, the last week. Still a lot of playoff seeding left to go, as New Orleans still can get in to the playoffs with a win. It's looking dire here, and we're only in the second quarter. New Orleans is going to have to pull some magic as Arrington brings the ball up to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, New Orleans, as we said pregame, suffered a 1-point loss to this team. It's apparent that Baltimore has spent a lot of time in the film room preparing for this game.
So the last time after their last meeting, 27-26, Baltimore over NOLA this season, their last meeting was actually season 12 when Baltimore won 62-34. So are we in store for another high-scoring game from the Baltimore Vultures against the New Orleans Pharaohs, as the pass ball is incomplete? Kaz McFly in beautiful coverage, and it looked like the receiver heard footsteps.
I'm not quite sure what happened there, but Baltimore came out in man defense, and it's hard to travel across the field with these receivers, but Kaz McFly looks like he read the route for the receiver.
Yeah, he ran the route for the receiver as well, as Caesar Powell, don't know what he was doing there, but he let Kaz McFly get in front of him, and that's what he do, as Gold already has 2 interceptions in the game, and Kaz McFly has one of those. So he's looking for a second pump fake from Alexander Gold, and he's going to fire it out to Angeloni, and getting enough for the first down. He's up to the 37.
That pump fake worked beautifully. As he was pump faking, the linebacker threw it to, he just left his assignment, went right to where he thought the ball was going. And meanwhile, the ball's going upfield, young man. Turn around.
I just want to do a quick, we'll actually wait on that. Alexander Gold, yeah, the pump fake froze the defense, gave Angeloni just enough time to even get further down the field, and that was probably enough for the first down. And so at their own 37, do another pass out to Angeloni, who makes another grab, and he is getting used here early in this series, and just like that, 2 catches, 2 first downs for Angeloni as they're up to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to need him, along with the rest of his teammates, to get back into this ball game. It's going to take a team effort against this Baltimore defense.
1 yard short of midfield is the Pharaohs offense. Alexander Gold under center. Got Reggie Streeter in the backfield. There's a penalty, free play, and getting the tackle in the backfield, but it's not going to matter, as Tucker Lewis with his first tackle, but Baltimore's defensive line jumped early.
Yeah, he's going to have to wait for that first tackle, as it's going to get nullified by this penalty.
As Chad Rowland getting a little antsy on the defensive line, and jumps early, giving the Pharaohs a free 5 yards. And that's the first penalty of the ball game. So first down and 5 inside Vultures territory, 31-7. Thank you everybody for watching on the YouTube chat. As Reggie Streeter getting the handoff, and he is going to be hit by a swarm of Vultures, led by the Hendricks Thornberry, and that was only a gain of 3 for Reggie Streeter.
Streeter came into this game 8 yards away from joining the 1,000 rushing yard club on the season for tailbacks. Still looking to get it here.
Xander Gold under center. He'll hand it up to Reggie Streeter. He's going to try to go up the middle, but he's going to juke it. He's going to get it. He's up to the 33-yard line before having to come up and making the tackle. Ron Yates, the defensive end, having to chase Streeter from behind.
Yeah, I was just about to get upset at the young man at the route he took there to get that first down. He cut sideways, but I didn't think he had to. But with that carry there, I think that takes Reggie over the 1,000-yard mark for this season.
Congrats to Reggie. That's, I believe he hit the 1,000-yard last year. I don't know if he did it in his rookie. I can't remember 2 seasons ago if he did. And Reggie Streeter getting loose and then having to come up and make it a tackle on Reggie Streeter. Boy, as he is slow to get up, was Giovanni Bolt.
It's not often you see a safety take a running back down like that. He put his big pants on today.
Yeah, Giovanni must have had his Wheaties this morning prior to game time. First down and 10 inside the red zone. The Pharaohs as Gold dropping back and a fire underneath. Pass will be caught for a gain of 9 before Takes having to come up to make the tackle on Jackson.
And now other SFL action game going on right now. Houston has just taken a lead versus Seattle, 14-10.
That game is going on in the SFL Twitch. 2 games going on right now. We got 2 games left to go in the Saturday slate of ball games. And every game has some playoff implications one way or another. As Streeter taking guys with him all the way down to the 7. He's up to 34 yards on 7 carries is Reggie Streeter.
With the productivity he's having, perhaps they should have given Streeter the ball more often thus far.
And even this season, as Xander Gold goes under center on this first down and goal from the 7-yard line. Hand off to Reggie Streeter going up the field. He was able to truck one defender but not get through the other as Joe Dazzo having to come up and lay the lumber on Reggie Streeter. Gets the ball inside the 5 to the 3.
At 6'2", 234 pounds, it's not possible for that man to get skinny, but he found a way to slither through the defense there and get a few extra yards.
Second and goal. 5:07 left to go in the second quarter. Xander Gold looking to change the play up. He goes under center. It's going to be a hand up to Streeter. He's going to be 1 yard short. He'll be at the Baltimore 1-yard line. It's pickup of 2 before coming down. Tony Willis to make the tackle.
This Baltimore secondary has been made some big hits tonight on this drive. And I thought Streeter was going to get in the end zone. If he lowered his shoulder, maybe he would have. But they have another opportunity here on 3rd and goal.
3rd and goal from the 1. Can they punch it in? It's going to be a hand off to Streeter. He's going to be hit and dropped in the backfield for a loss of 1. Just a great play from the defensive line for the Baltimore Vultures. Bernard Patterson coming up and making the tackle in the backfield. He got through the offensive line and hit Reggie 1 yard behind the line of scrimmage.
One thing I noticed about this Baltimore team coming into this game, they don't have the sacks that a lot of other teams have, but one thing they do get out of this defensive line is a bunch of tackles for loss in the run game. None bigger than that one right there.
The field goal attempt from Austin Powers is right down the middle from 19 yards out and taking down 3 points, making it a 31-10 ball game. Where are the Pharaohs? So just a great drive from them. It would have been better if it resulted in a touchdown, but that was a 13-play, 71-yard drive. That was the longest drive play-wise for either team in today's ball game thus far. As the kick from Powers is away, Giovanni Bolt 2 yards deep in the end zone. He's going to bring it out. He's been shifty, and he brings it up to the 23-yard line. As that is where Mike Dazzo and the Baltimore offense will start this drive.
These kickers matter in kick return coverage as well. New Orleans hasn't been able to utilize their weapon, and Aaron Arrington has been getting kicked deep into the end zone.
Under center, Mike Dazzo. T-Roy Gaines in the backfield has been doing work. And he gets the handoff again, but he is going to be hit. That play just didn't get going from the get-go, as Lincoln having to come up and make the tackle for a loss of 1 on the play.
For a moment there, I thought he was going to break it as he eluded 2 defensive linemen, but Lincoln came up and cleaned up the mess.
Give credit to the Pharaohs defensive line for blowing that play up and slowing Gaines down in the backfield, allowing Lincoln to come up and make the tackle. Dazzo under center, dropping back, going to fire to a wide open Daly Holder, who gets another gain of 5, setting up a 3rd down and 5.
Wow, Lloyd Grant was semi-open a little bit further downfield, but Dazzo making a smart play and chucking it off to the wide open receiver for a 5-yard gain, 3rd and 5.
And Mike Dazzo came in just 2 completions away from 2,800 career completions, and he actually hit that on the 2nd drive of the game, and a little late, but congratulations to Mike Dazzo on that feat. As Daly Holder with another grab, getting the ball up to the 43-yard line. As Baltimore, they don't want to take the foot off the gas pedal. They are just steamrolling through the Pharaohs defense.
Putting the league on notice that the playoffs are looming, and they're ready.
It seems like the Vultures are just picking the corpses of the Pharaohs in this ball game, 31-10, with 2:45 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Dazzo, shotgun formation, looking to throwing it deep across the middle of the field. Wide open receiver, and he is going to get into the end zone. Ivory Irvin with a touchdown grab here, and just like that, again, Mike Dazzo's just having a field day against the Pharaohs defense. There's just nothing they could do to slow him down.
It was not. The other 2 receivers were covered. He was actually his 3rd option on the route, but his offensive line, give credit to them as well. They gave him time to get to look downfield. Both his primary target and his secondary target were both covered like a blanket. But as you stated, Ivory Irvin, further downfield, took advantage of it. Touchdown Baltimore once again.
The defense was just nowhere, as it looked like they were playing the run a little bit based on how wide open deep downfield Irvin was. What kind of coaching can the Pharaohs do to actually turn this tide a little bit? Because they're still playing for their playoff lives. I keep want to reiterate that, because they do still have a chance to get in the playoffs with a win.
Well, it's tough because, as we stated once already, they're last in the SFL and defending the run, so they're trying to pack the middle of their field to stop this Baltimore run game, which they have not. And it just puts more pressure on this secondary to come up and make plays and help these defenders out in the front 7, leaving these receivers open downfield.
As Ayrton brings the ball to the 23-yard line, but that touchdown grab from Ivory Irvin, that is rookie's 9th touchdown of the season. And boy, has he been a godsend for Mike Dazzo and the Vultures offense, as he has just been putting in yeoman's work through the season. And this guy, if he can keep this up, he's going to be a force to reckon with a couple seasons down the line. As the pass from Alexander Gold falls incomplete, as Thornberry was in coverage to bat the football away.
If he can just put just a little bit more air up under that ball, Diesel Powell is going to walk into the end zone.
Alexander Gold, 157 yards. He's 14 of 18. With those 2 interceptions still looming large, and could have been a lot. There could have been at least 2 or 3 other interceptions, but they've fallen incomplete. There's Alexander Gold under center, dropping back, short drop. He's gonna fire it out. Pass is caught by Angeloni, trying to make a move to pick up more yards, but he's gonna pick up a gain of 9, and it's gonna set up a 3rd down and short.
That's a nice little play design. The X receiver, Diesel Powell, he's going to run an arrow route, which takes away the linebacker and puts eyes on that safety to back up, leaving his teammate to clean up the mess and get some easy yards.
Kaz McFly with the tackle on Angeloni. But we've come to the 2-minute warning. The Vultures picking apart the Pharaohs all game. It's a 38-10 ball game. Stay tuned. We'll have the final 2 minutes of the first half right after this. You're watching the SFL on YouTube. 3rd and 1. Alexander Gold in the shotgun formation, dropping back. He has the receiver underneath and making the grab, enough for the first down. That is Deezer Powell with another grab and up to the 36-yard line.
I like to see New Orleans, if they can, milk away this clock and put points on the board, giving Baltimore a little time to respond with those 3 timeouts that they have left in their pocket.
1st and 10 from the New Orleans 36-yard line. Alexander Gold in the shotgun formation. Gonna fire out deep, and it's gonna fall. It's gonna be batted, and it's gonna be intercepted by Joe Dazzo, as that's the 3rd interception of the game for Alexander Gold. And that was batted away from Giovanni Bolt, or that was batted by Giovanni Bolt and falls right into the hands of Joe Dazzo.
Joe Dazzo picking up his 3rd interception of the season. And I can tell already, if my partner in crime, BJ Lovely, is watching this game, he's a bit jealous, as he doesn't have a career interception on his resume. Joe Dazzo picks up his 3rd there, as you said, off the hands of Giovanni Bolt.
Yeah, that's number 9 for Joe Dazzo in his career, so not really used to the interceptions. As Mike Dazzo is at the fire underneath, and that is going to be enough for the down, and they are going to go as Lloyd Graham Jr. with a gain of 10. 1st down and 10 from the Pharaohs 37-yard line. Mike Dazzo going to have to fire to T-Roy, making a nice one-handed grab. It was just 1. So all of that good play for just 1 yard for T-Roy Gaines, but showing off the one-handed snag.
Mike Dazzo was close to going over the line of scrimmage, but he kept his composure and chucked the ball off to his teammate, T-Roy, who was able to shake the tackle and get out of bounds to stop this clock.
Daly Holder, 4 receptions for 101 yards. He had that bomb on the first play of the game for the Baltimore Vultures, which resulted in a TD that got the score the way it is. Dazzo dropping back, firing it to T-Roy, coming out of the backfield, breaks out of 2 tackles before Arrington has to come up and make the sure tackle, picking up a gain of 8. It's a 3rd and 1. Hurry up for Mike Dazzo. He goes under center. He's got T-Roy waiting for everybody to get set. Dropping back, short gain, firing it deep across the middle of the field. Pass is going to be caught by Lloyd Graham Jr. to the 10-yard line.
How New Orleans did not bat that ball away, I have no idea. Number 33, I believe it was his number. I couldn't quite, number 33 for New Orleans. He was just sitting out there in no man's land. Could have at least made a better effort to at least bat that ball away, but Dante West was unable to do so.
Thank you, everybody, tuning in on YouTube. Joe Dazzo, Mr. Frank for Real, TFL Topic, Chad Rowland. There's a couple guys. Ashley Jackson is in there. As Dazzo firing across the middle. Pass is going to be caught. Let's see who the number is. Can't really see from up here. As Dazzo hurrying up, going to throw it to Gaines coming out of the backfield, and he gets no gain. And having to come up and make the tackle is Bryce Lincoln, as Baltimore takes their 2nd timeout. They got 1 left.
It's a good thing he did make that tackle, because his teammate could not. They all put their pants on the same, but the DNA is just built differently. And T-Roy almost shook another tackle and got to the end zone for another score.
3rd and goal from the New Orleans 2-yard line. Dazzo under center. Got the split back in the backfield. Short drop, looking to scramble. He's going to throw it. He could have ran it into the end zone, and it's a 4th down and goal. I thought they were going to throw the flag that he was going to be over the line, but the ball must have been thrown before he crossed the line. As boy, oh boy, what a play.
It was thrown before he crossed the line, but he could have ran that into the end zone. He was right there, and why he did not, I don't know.
William Street, thanks for coming in. As if you do want to get started in the SFL, what you can do is you can actually go to the, if you're new to the SFL, you can actually get your spot in the SFL minor league. That is actually going to be starting in a couple weeks here. The SFL ends today. And it was a blocked kick from the New Orleans Pharaohs, getting in there and breaking that up and getting no points. The Baltimore Vultures. Have you seen anything like that?
I've seen the kick blocked, but they didn't even get the kick off the ground. I believe he tackled the holder on a play. I've
Yeah, he
never seen
did.
that.
Yeah, because it was number 3, and yeah, that's the holder. As a free play here, Reggie Streeter getting out wide, and Kaz McFly with the tackle.
What a bizarre ending to that drive.
I believe that
Dazzle could have
was
walked it in for a touchdown. They settled for a 3-point field attempt, only to have the holder tackled before the kick is even attempted.
Levant Irvine, I believe. That was number 98. Came through and tackled the holder. As Patterson getting caught here for getting a little too quick, getting a little antsy on the defensive line.
Down 28, I don't even want to fathom New Orleans coming back into this game and that being the difference. But if it were to happen, that would be a travesty of justice for the Baltimore team.
17 seconds left to go in the second quarter. They got all 3 timeouts to work with. There's Alexander Gold under center. Gonna have to fire it to Reggie coming out of the backfield. He's got a block out in front, but Thornberry coming up and just taking the forearm shivers, Reggie Streeter.
We said it a couple of times, but this Baltimore secondary, he's a tough man to bring down, and they've been doing a great job of it so far today.
As we've come to the end of the first half, Baltimore all over the Pharaohs. Still plenty of time left to go, a whole nother half. But Eddie, just give us some of your thoughts on the first half of action.
Well, I sound like a broken record, but we knew coming to this game that New Orleans was ranked last in rushing defense. They've been leaving those corners out in the alley in an attempt to bring the big man down and limit this running game. But Baltimore, as you see on the replay, counters that, going over the top of the secondary for a touchdown to back those guys up. Once they do, and those guys get backed up, now it's time for our big man, T-Roy Gaines, to eat. He's 8 and 8 often at the dinner table in a term of several chunk plays downfield, scoring for this team. And wow, it's demoralizing to think what you can do. If you pack the paint, we're just going to throw the ball over the top. If you play off, we're just going to continue to feed the big man, T-Roy Gaines. And New Orleans has some questions to answer. And it's a good thing me and you are up here in the booth, because I wouldn't want to be the man to make those decisions in terms of how to slow this offense down of Baltimore.
It's a good thing we're not in the locker room either, or have a soundbite in the locker room. I'm sure that the locker room is just going absolutely for the Pharaohs. And Alexander Gold, 172 yards, but 3 interceptions. It seemed like the first one to Kaz McFly on their very first play after the Vultures got that one-play touchdown to Daly Holder to open the game up. It seemed to just take Alexander Gold and just turn him into a player of himself, as he has not looked comfortable all game.
He has not. I mean, he's back there and probably unsure of himself right now. And it's just a shame for the season to end like this. If it does, as you said, fighting for their playoff lives, and to come out here and put forth an effort like this is disappointing. As you see there on the replay, it looks like New Orleans might have gotten away with a face mask penalty, but it did not matter as T-Roy continues to punish the front seven of this defense.
T-Roy Gaines up to 160 rushing yards on 9 attempts and 2 touchdowns. As, coming in after last week where he only got 25 yards, just what can't he do in this game? And it could just be a product of the defense that he's facing, but just to know that he could come out after a bad game and put up what he's doing is just going to be, it just works wonders, because we know what T-Roy Gaines is in the SFL, and he is just a playmaker on all sorts of levels, and he wasn't last week, and here getting the ball back and doing what he can with it every opportunity that he gets.
I don't want to speak prematurely, but it's only a matter of time before that young man is walking into the SFL Hall of Fame with open doors, because he's been producing like this for some time now.
Exactly. I was thinking the exact same thing. If he could keep this going, who knows? I mean, he's already in the top echelon of running backs, and he's already, I believe it's his fourth or fifth season. So he's been doing this for season after season. If he keeps it going, I'm right there with you, Eddie. And
coming into the second half, New Orleans is going to get the ball first. And if anything, but for a morale boost, They need to find a way to put 7 on the board here. 3 points just won't cut it.
As Aaron Arrington's just going to have to knee this in the end zone. But if we do have any new guys out there watching for the first time, wonder what you're watching. Like, what the heck is this? This is Simulation Football League. It's the first controllerless esport, allowing you, the viewer, to participate in all the action on the field without the controller in your hands. You can visit simulation.football for details on how to get started with the team and in the league. We do have a Discord as well. Everybody is nice. Everybody is willing to help. So go in and go on the website, join, and we'll see you on the field soon. As Reggie Streeter getting the first carry here for just second in it. Wow, they marked him short. I thought he got through, but he's going to be up to the 30-yard line, so a gain of 10.
That was a nice play. I believe that was a strong trap they ran there. And yeah, they're going to challenge the spot of that ball, thinking it was a first down. I'm not quite sure if it's worth a challenge at this point, but coach must have seen something, or maybe his guys upstairs said, hey, challenge that. That's a first down.
And going on in the other game, while we have a moment, Seattle is on top 27-14 over Houston. That's going on the SFL Twitch page, or Twitch stream, excuse me.
Oh, that is a first down. You're right. I think that's
Yeah.
going to turn it, overturn that.
I know my eyes are bad at sometimes, but I know that what I saw there.
And TJ Speaks is on the sidelines livid over that first down call. I'm not sure why.
I mean, maybe it's something of momentum where who knows if New Orleans doesn't challenge that, maybe they get stopped and having to punt the football back. So it could just be a matter of New Orleans wanting to keep this drive going, knowing how important it is that they get the ball first to start the second half. As the Pharaohs under center is Xander Gold. He's got Reggie Streeter in the backfield. He's going to hand off to Streeter. He's going to go up the middle. And Bolt having to come down and make the tackle yet again, but not before Streeter picks up a gain of 3.
This secondary is packing this line of scrimmage here, and they do not want to get Reggie Streeter going.
They've held Reggie Streeter in check all game. We'll have to see if it can continue. But Reggie Streeter, 49 yards on 12 attempts. As a Streeter with another carry. He's going to try to get through the middle, but coming up, Amon takes to make the tackle. Gain of 3, setting up a 3rd and 4.
Who else but the great Amon Takes will make that tackle there on that play? You ask him, he thinks he's the greatest of all time at anything.
And he's shown it season after season for the Vultures. 3rd down and 4 from their own 37-yard line. Xander Gold dropping back. It's going to be a delayed halfback draw. And coming up and making the play in the backfield, Tucker Lewis with his first tackle for loss in the ball game.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I agree with the play, at least not at this time. 3rd and short, and you come up with a delay when those linebackers are already looking to stop the run.
I think that might have been they got that first down, but then they couldn't get the second one to keep the drive going, and the punt will have to come from the Pharaohs, as Giovanni Bolt will signal for the fair catch at the 34-yard line. So I hope it's not, but I wonder if that was the white towel being raised by the Pharaohs as 3 straight runs after they got the first down, and I believe they didn't even throw the football, so that was all run plays. So I hope it's not the white towel, but it just seemed like it on that drive.
With almost 2 quarters of football to play, I would hope not as well.
1st and goal from the Baltimore 34. Dazzo under center, gains in the backfield. Dazzo dropping back and fire it underneath. Passes caught by Holder, trying to get breaks out of a tackle. Arrington is going to get up for a gain of 6 up to the 41.
You want to talk about the pressing right there. New Orleans comes out in man coverage in which they're shading the outside. So they give you the middle of the field, and he still gets out there and picks up 6 yards.
Daly Holder now up 106 yards on 5 receptions. 2nd and 4 from their own 41. Dazzo's under center. Handoff to T-Roy, who's been doing work. Going to get just enough before a swarm of Pharaohs coming up and making the play is Tank Bennett and Rolliman Hood in making the tackle on T-Roy Gaines, which hasn't been easy to do.
Up 28 points. And you got a tailback who's looking to eat against the last ranked rush defense. T-Roy is in the backfield, all smiles right now.
That could be a recipe for disaster as well for the Pharaohs, as Lloyd Graham Jr. with another reception and Irvine having to come up and make the tackle, holding Lloyd Graham Jr. to just a gain of 9, setting up a 2nd down and 1.
Looking at Lloyd Graham, he's built like a receiver more than a tight end.
2nd and 1. Mike Dazzle under center, handoff to Gaines, who's got some room, but he is going to be stopped. Great tackle from the Pharaohs, and he's going to be up to the 39-yard line, picking up the 1st down.
New Orleans comes out in the man look, and those receivers are going to be putting their hands all over those corners. So if he can get past that initial line of defense, he will be off to the races again. So that scenario represent itself.
Dazo under center. Gaines in the backfield in the I formation. Dazo dropping back on a fire to out of the backfield. He's one guy over there. That's Irvine. Breaks out. And Tank Bennett having to come down and make the sure tackle, but not before T-Roy gets enough for the 1st down to the 26-yard line.
Once again, New Orleans comes out in man defense, and the linebacker has to run all the way across the field, across all the traffic in front of him. That's a difficult task, and then you got a big man like T-Roy looking to punish you rather than run around you, and he does just that to pick up the 1st down.
Marching down the field 1 yard away from the SFL red zone. It's the Baltimore Vultures. 38-10. They got the stop for the Pharaohs on their first drive of the start of the 2nd half. And so this is the first drive for the Vultures in the 2nd half as Dazo dropped it back at the fire underneath. One-handed grab by Holder, but he is going to be hit and dropped for a loss of 3.
Don't quite understand that decision there. New Orleans, once again in man, and the corner actually did a great job of knocking him off his route. And Baltimore's going to get a completion for a 3-yard loss. Not often you see that.
That's probably one where you want Holder to just, act like he missed it in the sun or something and have it fall incomplete. They're 2nd and 13. T-Roy Gaines with the catch out of the backfield and getting those 3 yards back and then some, making it a 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 on the 24-yard line. No need for Dazzle to get cute here. Just takes what the defense gives you. If you get a 1st down, great. Otherwise, just bring out the kicker and tack on it to this lead.
Score of the other ball game: Seattle on top of Houston, 27-17 now. Going across the middle is Dazo to Lloyd Graham Jr., who makes another reception down to the 14-yard line. 1st down and 10.
3rd and long? What 3rd and long? We'll just take that 8 yards, come out in a gun straight, running 90-yard slants, pick up this 1st down, and keep the chains moving.
It seems like Baltimore looking to put their foot on the throat of the New Orleans Pharaohs as Dazo under center, dropping back, gonna fire underneath, pass is caught, and Daly Holder with another grab. And is going to pick up a gain of 7 to the 6-yard line now are the Vultures.
As we've said all day and repeated to say it, it's hard to chase these receivers across the field. Even Aaron Arrington's going to have a hard time doing that, and he found himself a couple yards behind the receiver.
New Orleans defense needs to make a stop here. It's going to be a handoff to T-Roy, who's got enough for 1st down, and he's just going to waltz his way into the end zone for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the game, as the Vultures now put the foot on the throat of the Pharaohs as T-Roy Gaines gets his 53rd rushing touchdown of his career.
I wonder if T-Roy's agent has told him, hey, young man, you're 1 total touchdown behind Sudo Nakai for the league lead. We're playing against a team with the worst rushing defense. You better finish this season ranked number 1 because you're a free agent at the end of this season, young man.
T-Roy now 2 yards short of 200 rushing yards in the game. He's at 198, 3 rushing touchdowns. He's averaging 15.2 yards per carry in the game as Tarkington tacks on the extra points.
As bad as that sounds, it's actually down from earlier this game when he was averaging over 20 yards a carry.
And it's getting the game kicked back underway as Tarkington. But Eddie, I mean, we could, seeing as New Orleans needs a miracle and then some to happen. But again, just as the season will come to an end for the Pharaohs, just give us like what your takes are as they will fall to 4-8. I mean, granted, there's still a whole fourth quarter to go, but just talk about this New Orleans team for a little bit.
Well, they got some bad losses, but they also have some impressive wins, including a 22-13 win over Mexico City just a few weeks ago. And I mean, yes, it's depressing, but hey, you got some playmakers, you got some stuff to build around. If they can just show up this coaching and improve this run defense, brighter days are ahead. I mean, they've got weapons across this field at Xander Gold's display, and some sure tacklers on defense that season after season. It seems like Tank Bennett leads the league or is amongst the leaders in tackling. Him along with his friend Levon Irvine. If they can just play with this rush defense, things brighter days are ahead. I mean, they come into this game ranked third overall. I mean, number one overall in third down defense. So if they can just find ways to clean up this rush defense in this off season, it can be a big game changer for this defense.
You see Clifton with the grab for a first down up to the New Orleans 33 as Xander Bullock dropping back in. A fire underneath to Powell, but there's just nowhere to go as Dazzo with another tackle. As Dazzo not been able to get going, or Deezer Powell not be able to get going. He's up to 53 yards on 3 receptions.
Yeah, he has the one big catch downfield for a first down, but other than that, he's been relatively quiet today.
Yeah, New Orleans probably came out with high expectations to start the season, and it just hasn't gone that way. They have been up and down all season, it seems like. But yeah, just a couple of plays here or there might have turned the tide for them. As I mean, it didn't start well, losing to Vancouver, but then coming back and getting 1-1 heading into a stretch where, I mean, give credit to St. Louis beating them. That's a team that's at 5-6, and they're looking to make the playoffs in the SFL. As Xander Gold throwing it deep downfield, but it falls incomplete as Thornberry was in coverage to knock the football away. But then I mean, the two losses to St. Louis and London probably didn't help them at all. As London, that's one where you probably need to squeak it out as much as you can.
Absolutely.
And then being at 5, if they would have got that win, they would have been at 5-6, so they wouldn't have even had to. They would have still had to win this one to possibly get in. But it would have been a lot easier than having 10 other games having to go in your favor. His way, and Giovanni Bolt has been bottled up all day on the kick return and getting it up to the 35-yard line. But more importantly, with Baltimore having the loss last week, it seemed like a couple people around the SFL might have been hitting the panic button, because a loss here to New Orleans would have dropped them possibly into a wild card situation where they're playing on the first week or the first day of the playoffs instead of getting that bye. But what about Baltimore getting that win and riding the ship here the last week of the season?
Every game, every week is as important as the next. I don't care if you're playing Florida. I don't care if you're playing Atlanta. I don't care if you're playing London. Each of these games matter. There's only 12 games in the regular season. Each one just as important as the next. Baltimore, let's not forget, they're the only team this season to beat Atlanta. Let's not forget that. It seemed like it was a long time ago, back in February, I believe it was. But they got a win against a team that no one has yet to beat, as Dallas took a sack there.
Yeah, the pressure was just coming in off the edge, and that's a lookout for the offensive lineman. He came in swarming off the edge. Chris Leone with his first sack.
Yeah, he didn't even see that one coming. It's amazing he was able to get up from that hit. But yeah, Baltimore, they have a win against Atlanta, so let's not forget about that. I mean, they've hit a couple of tough losses. One against Charleston, I remember several weeks ago. But this team, they're always in the playoffs, and they're looking to get that championship on, as you say, off their resume and get things turned around. I
What do
remember
you think?
talking to the owner of Atlanta. He calls Baltimore their kryptonite. Their kryptonite. So
Hmm.
we'll a
Yeah,
lot of
that
games
that
left to play.
that game against Atlanta wasn't just a squeak it out game.
No.
That was a 31-14 ball game.
Yeah, they put it on them.
So you got to wonder if Atlanta is, looking at this game like, oh man, Atlanta or Baltimore seems to have righted the ship from last week, and they're coming out here still chucking the football as Urban with another grab, getting a gain of 9.
Yeah, you like to
Yeah,
see
I
him
mean,
cut that upfield and get the first down. But yeah, knowing Mark like I think I know him, he's sitting back like, yeah, whatever. We'll deal with the Baltimore if they even get to us right now. We're just gonna enjoy this first round bye and go from there.
but I mean, also a team that probably nobody wants to see is Denver.
Denver's hot right now. They're finishing the season. They got off to a start, but they finished strong.
They have, and it seems like all their wins are coming against
Oh,
it's Leroy Gaines trucking through the Pharaohs yet again. And Mike Dazzo, what can you say? 154 QBR in the game today. He's just there's nothing you can do. But getting back onto Denver, I mean, they're one of the teams where possibly some teams wanted to try to keep them out because of uh, just how hot they've been the last couple of weeks. I mean, they beat Chicago, they beat Vancouver last week. They're on a 2-game winning streak, having to play against Atlanta this week. So that could be a huge game for Denver. If they could come and win that, then who knows what they cannot do.
all eyes would be on that game. I can assure you.
Second and 1 from the Pharaohs 30-yard line. A minute 30 left to go in the third quarter. Dazzo under center is going to hand it off to Gaines, who's going to be hit and dropped in the backfield. Irvine is out there along with Lincoln getting the stop for a loss of 2.
Not sure why he didn't audible and bring T-Roy up the middle off a trap or something because he threw it right into the teeth of that defense and they were waiting for him.
3rd and 3 for the Baltimore Vultures. Dazzo will hand it off to T-Roy, who's going to get enough for the first down. He is still going. He got a block downfield as the offensive lineman. What a block from number 67, bringing Gaines for a bigger gain than what he would have had if the guy wasn't out there. And boy, oh boy, T-Roy just over 200. He wants to keep going. I don't know what the record is game-wise for rushing yards, but it seems like he could be the guy that actually breaks that record if they ever so choose.
I believe it's 330 something
Oh yeah,
is the
it
record.
was actually Reggie Streeter that did it last year.
Yeah, but he see him across on the other sideline. It's like, hey man, I'm still a man around here.
Dropping back is Dazzo, firing it
Got
to
him.
the end zone,
Oh,
batted away, and it falls incomplete. Arrington over there in coverage. Dazzo was looking for Irvin.
I thought he had another one, but the vet Aaron Arrington said no, sir.
No soup for you. And it falls incomplete, so this brings up a second down and 10. 23 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Dazzo under center. He's got T-Roy Gaines in the backfield. Dropping back. He's scrambling around, and he's going to be hit and dropped for a sack. Ray West, the big defensive tackle, getting his big juicy paws around Dazzo. Takes a shot. Is Mike Dazzo? Luckily, hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, for a moment there, I thought I was going to take off and scramble yet again.
So I know you touched on the Denver-Atlanta game. Is that the game that is, I mean, outside of your own game? We'll get back to that after this. We've come to the end of the third quarter. Baltimore on top of the New Orleans Pharaohs, 45-10. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this. And we are back to the start of the fourth quarter, 3rd and 14. Actually, don't remember Baltimore being this far back on a 3rd down as Dazzo firing across the middle is batted up in the air. And that will be the first interception for Dazzo, making a couple spin moves, trying to get something going for the Pharaohs and getting the interception and just trying to just a little bit too late. Rolliman Hood with his first interception of the game, and the first thrown by Dazzo today.
His 5th of the season. Beneficiary of a tip drill there, and for a moment there, if he'd got another spin, I thought he might have been able to lose time and get an even bigger chunk downfield. But congrats to New Orleans for not giving up on this game and making a play.
I actually thought if he would have kept going to the right up the sideline, he had the blocks there, but instead he chose to go to the middle, and that not going to work as Reggie Streeter trying to go up the middle here, and he picks up a gain of 6. But what I was alluding to before the end of the break was what other game today outside of your own that you are looking at I mean, all games have playoff implications, but one game that maybe people are not really keeping an eye on that maybe they should?
I got a couple of them I like to see. I like to see this matchup between Florida and Mexico City. That's going to be a chess match, I believe. I like to see Mexico City get. Yeah, excuse me. I like to see Mexico City get their running back Ray Bentley involved a little bit more than he has thus far this season. That's going to be an interesting contest. And I'm also looking at the Vancouver Sioux Falls game. Can Vancouver find a way to slow down their Sioux Falls power run game and get a win on the road? They're attempting to get a first round bye as well. So that's going to be another interesting contest to look at.
Sioux Falls coming off a loss to Jacksonville last week, and Gold firing it out wide, and it's caught by Jackson. But yeah, Sioux Falls not looking pretty against Jacksonville last week. They lost 35-17.
Another game I have my eyes on, Jeff, is a rematch from week 1. St. Louis at Carolina. Ooh. Carolina deemed that game the Pickle 6 game.
Yeah.
But Johnny Pickler has improved mightily since that game, and
have the tides have turned.
Yes,
St. Louis.
They're looking to get a playoff berth for this franchise for the first time in their history. If they can find a way to win this game and get some things to turn their way, that's going to be another interesting contest. There's a bunch of good games this weekend.
As a return from Giovanni Bolt up to the 40-yard line. But yeah, just all the games
mean something.
In week 12, they have playoff implications. Even the game that is going on the Twitch, the Houston Hyenas and the Seattle Tyrants. If New Orleans would have won, I believe they would have needed a Seattle win, or was it a Houston win? But no matter what, every game this week would have meant something. As you take a look on your screen, there's the playoff picture for the 7 through 14. Arizona and New Orleans still there. Arizona, your team actually, Eddie, they can still get in. They don't need all the help that New Orleans did, but their chances are, let's call it for what it is, still on a little bit of life support.
Life support. We're hanging on by a thread, but we're not giving up hope. Oh,
it's batted, and it's going to be intercepted by Tate Bennett. And Dazzo with back-to-back interceptions. And you got to wonder just why they're still chucking the football, why they still have these starters out there. I know this is the last week. It's week 12. We want to probably work on some things, all that. But, you want to save your guys for the playoffs.
Absolutely. It's the fourth quarter. You're up 5 scores right now. Oh, my goodness. You just enjoying this big lead. Why is he even throwing the ball downfield? And second question, why is he even on the field right now?
There's Gold firing a missile, but it falls incomplete. Now looking at what he was throwing at there as the Denver Nightwings taking on the Jacksonville Kings, as both teams are red hot. That's a good one to finish up the Week 12 slate on Monday. You also got Atlanta going to Las Vegas. That's a big one.
Yes, it is. Right now, Seattle is enjoying a 37-17 lead on Houston at the moment as well.
Seattle looking to finish up the season strong. Not exactly what they wanted, and it's going to be, the pass is going to fall incomplete. Whoopsie daisy, as Deezer Powell couldn't keep his toes in. But yeah, Seattle, man, coming off the championship game, had all sorts of high hopes. They will fall not to the season that they hoped they would have had coming in. But I mean, Seattle 37-13 over Houston, who Houston up until last week, their playoff hopes were still up there.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you how competitive this league is. Seattle went to the championship game last season, and now they're fighting for a playoff berth right now. It just shows you the competitive nature of each of these teams. Wow, look at that effort right there.
Seattle was actually eliminated.
Yeah. But it just goes to show you the competitive nature of this league and these coaches and all the time that they spend put into this game to compete and put on a field a winning product, how just difficult it can be. I mean, they were just in a championship game, and now here they are eliminated from playoff contention.
And also Denver, if they win, and the teams above them being the Desperados, the Tulsa Desperados, the Chicago Wildcats, if they lose, if those two teams lose and Denver wins, with their strength of victory, they could jump all the way up to the 8th seed.
Wow. I mean, think about the start they had, and to be able to put that in the same sentence, that's crazy.
Just they've beaten all the teams that's in front of them. It's the teams that are behind them that they, for some reason, struggled with. As that throw out to Powell will fall incomplete, setting up a 3rd down and 8. But even the Kings, if they play Denver, the Kings are 6-4. If they win, they'll be 7-4. If any of no, their strength of victory is kind of low. That would be possibly their strength of victory could go up with the win over Denver. But it'll be hard. It will be hard to see what Jacksonville would do with the win. They'd be at 7-4, and Baltimore is going to move to 8-3 as the throw over the middle is going to be batted and falls incomplete. Joe Dazzo in coverage, but the Sparrows, they're at 7-4, or they're at 7-3. The Queen City's at 7-3, depending on who they play. I mean, Jacksonville can move up as well. You see there, 7 through 14. Of course, there's 7. Oh yeah, it is updated. My bad. 5 and 6. So you got still a couple teams left to go, but man, Cam is not going to have an easy
No.
easy weekend and even an easy Monday, as the field goal attempt is through the uprights and good, as Austin Powers tacking on 3 points. So it's a 45-13 ball game.
I would not want to be Cam this weekend. How much time he's gonna spend sorting out this playoff scenario here this weekend. It's gonna be crazy. But going back to Denver, they have a head coach, offensive coordinator, and Jacob Avett. I hope I got his last name pronounced correctly. This is his 2nd season in SFL, his first full season coaching the team. And they started off slow, but he got things turned around quickly. This guy's, you want to talk about on-the-job training. Yeah. There's no better definition. If you want to look up the definition of on-the-job training in the dictionary, you're going to find a picture of this young man. He's taken his franchise. They started off slow. He took his lumps. He's rebounded quite nicely. And Denver is fighting for playoff positioning to further their percentage chances of getting a higher seed in this playoffs. That's impressive by the young man.
What a way to be thrown into the fire and come through. He's done just that. One of the up-and-coming coaches in the SFL as Gaines with the reception and a pickup of 1.
7+ minutes left in this ball game. The starters are still out there, perhaps just trying to, I don't know, just stay sharp, in the event they get a first-round bye. Who knows? They want to get this valuable time spent on the field. Every rep matters, so they're looking to finish this game strong.
Jazz will drop it back, firing against T-Roy coming out of the backfield. He's going to be hit for a 1-yard loss coming up. Irvine yet again with a big tackle for a loss there. But yeah, we'll have to see. St. Louis, Carolina, Tulsa is in, Charleston's in, but I mean, still a lot of jockeying for position going on. If some of these games, if it turns from a chill Saturday into a chaotic Sunday, then Cam is just going to lose and pull all his hair out from his head, and we don't need that.
No, we do not. We need this young man healthy and vibrant as much as we can, because without him, there is no league. So I just want to give a shout out to Cam. Thanks for all you do, young man.
First down and 10 from their own 32-yard line. T-Roy in the backfield. He's still going. Dazzle dropping back, moving up in the pocket.
Oh!
It's going to be picked off, and luckily that pick 6, because thank God Daly Holder out there and tackling out there to save the touchdown, but that could have been a huge disappointment.
Rolliman Hood.
Yeah, that's his second interception of the game.
That was almost a pick 6, if not for the receiver being alert out there. I'm not sure what's gotten to Dazzle these past couple of possessions, but perhaps that's why he's still on the field out there.
Just want to thank everybody for sticking with this one, despite the score 45-13. Baltimore over New Orleans, going to end any hopes that New Orleans had as getting into the playoffs. Reggie Streeter getting going. He picked up a gain of 2.
Yeah, they may not be playoff bound, but they like to finish the season strong, or the rest of this game strong, I should say, and perhaps put 7 points on the board here.
Second and 8. Gold throwing it deep, and it's going to be caught. Angeloni getting the ball inside the red zone down to the 2-yard line. Angeloni still wanting to play this game. First down and goal.
They call those the 50-50 balls. As a receiver, you got to find a way to win them. You know, your quarterback is putting his trust in you to come down with that ball, not get it turned over back to the defense. And he was able to come down with that one, beating Thornberry and getting the reception.
Hand up to Reggie. He's going to go up the middle, and he's going to be a yard. Going to be tackled at the 1 as Tony Willis coming up and making the tackle on Reggie Streeter, which has been happening early and often.
1-on-1, meet the man in the hole. There can only be one winner. And on that play was Tony Willis. He laid the wood on Reggie Streeter on that play.
Camp Commandant said he loves hearing Tanker Eddie broadcast. That might be this inside joke. Just thought I had to read that off to you. As third down and goal, Reggie Streeter looking to get into the end zone. And will touchdown, New Orleans Pharaohs. Still playing in the ball game, and Reggie Streeter getting into the end zone.
As a defense, one thing you can't stand is to see stats padded against you, and it was the ill-advised pass by Dazzle that led to this short field, and New Orleans was able to capitalize. Going back to Camp Commandment, I believe the first time I interacted with him was when the Arizona Scorpions displayed their military uniforms, and he and I share a bond of both being veterans of the military. So shout out to you, Camp Commandment.
Yeah, thank you everybody who is watching, who's part of the service. Thank you guys for what you do. Doesn't go unnoticed here as the extra point attempt is through the uprights and good. 45-20 is your score with 4:23 left to go. Who is Camp Commandant in Discord?
I have not seen him in Discord, I don't believe. I've always seen him in the games.
I've seen him on a couple of broadcasts I've been doing.
Yeah, I see him in the games, but I haven't seen him in Discord. But then again, I haven't spent much time in there. Onside kick coming up.
And it's going to be fielded by Baltimore.
Yeah, I shared with him that I was a tank driver, and ever since then, me and him kind of.
So that's the whole Tanker Eddie.
Yeah. Every time I see him, we give each other a virtual pound, so to speak.
Yeah, because you can't do that in this for what's going on right now. So first down and 10 for the Vultures. As the starters are still out there with 4:21 left to go. Dazo dropping back. He's going to fire to Gaines coming out of the backfield, coming up and making the tackles, Arrington, who I'm surprised Gaines did not try to at least spin or, have the guy run into him and then bounce off of him.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Arrington, wow, for a corner, wow, to get that young man down in that fashion, that's impressive.
First, it's going to be 2nd and 8. That's a pickup of 2 for T.R. Gaines out of the backfield. Tanks.
TJ's in the chat. He said, "Tanks, Eddie."
Yeah, I saw that. As Gaines with the carry going up the field, go middle. 3rd down and 6. It's TJ just throwing everything. He's throwing hearts at you. We have a new admirer right now. I mean, maybe I should move out of the way and let him come into the
No.
broadcast booth. You guys could do your thing.
I think you're fine.
So, getting this game back on the rails a little bit. 45-20. Vultures on top of the Pharaohs. 3rd and 6. I just want to also give a quick shout out to the people in the stats truck for us today. That's Tom Rahman and Rochelle Colston, making us look smarter. And the stats team all year has done a phenomenal job. And
Absolutely.
we wouldn't have all the stats at our fingertips without them. So they make it a lot easier on us. So just wanted to give a shout out to the stats team. As 4th down and 4 for the Vultures. I believe this is probably their first punt of the ball game, or either the second, as they were, or actually not. Excuse me. They're going to go for the field goal attempt here. Long field goal attempt for
51 yards out.
They're going to tack on as much points as they can. Sharp Tarkington looking to tack on. The kick is away. It's got the leg and the distance, 50 yards, and what a leg that guy has, as he's just whipped it through the uprights, and it's a 48-20 ball game. And so if anybody in chat wants to, have some swag going for the upcoming playoffs, or if you just want to rep your team, head over to sector6apparel.com. For all league and team apparel, including hoodies, t-shirts, team jerseys, and more. You can get an Eddie t-shirt, I'm sure, with the Scorpions. If you want to do something like that, I'm sure he'll appreciate it, rocking a Scorpion. And head over to sector6apparel.com. They're the official apparel provider of the SFL, as Arrington can't get nothing going, and he'll be tackled at the 20-yard line.
I think that's Aaron Arrington's first return today. No, but speaking of shirts, I also have a shirt that says "What up, though" on the front.
Oh boy! Well, pretty soon you're gonna have to make a Tank Eddie t-shirt.
I keep getting love by Cam Command, maybe I will.
Well, you're even getting it. Well, we've gotten some of it in the chat. It's been Tom Rahman who said "Tanks, Jeff." As Alexander Gold throwing a dot over the middle of the field, we've come to 2-minute warning. Reception by Deezer Powell, and they are up at the 45-yard line, but it's a 2-minute warning. Baltimore all over the Pharaohs, 48-20. We'll be back with the last 2 minutes of the ball game right after this. As Alexander Gold will start the final 2 minutes. We'll start under center. If anybody who's new, if you're new to the SFL, and you get your spot in the SFL minor league, it's thrown over the middle and it falls incomplete. There's the SFL minor league that's going to be kicking off in just a couple of weeks. The schedule's already out. Everything is already underway with that front, with the schedules. Everybody knows who they're playing. So it's going to be starting up soon. If you want to get your spot and get onto a team, #claim your spot. To begin your SFL career, subscriptions are going fast. So be sure to join the Discord, get in there, and we can't wait for you guys to make an impact. You can go from couch to field, like Alexander Gold, like Vadir Ajloni, Amon Takes, Joe Dazzo, Kaz McFly, Mike Dazzo, all the players that you're seeing out here, as even Reggie Streeter, you could be like him, as he gets enough for the first down. So go ahead and claim your spot for the SFL minor league today. Oh, it's camp. I can't. I don't know. That last thing is getting to me. My head's all spinning as the pass falls incomplete. But he says that he will buy one Tanker What Up Doe T-shirt is what he
Oh,
is.
there you go, my man.
Oh, you're gonna have to give him some royalties for that one.
That's right.
You're gonna have to.
Andy Hamilton is in
Yes.
the chat saying he needs to take that baby to the crib shirt.
As Andy always spilling things out here. As Ashley and Chad, there's a lot of people. Thank you, everybody. Ivy Irvin's been in chat. Trying to see Base Scout. Don't want to keep naming off the same people. R.E. Mill. Chad Rowland already called his name. Tom Rahman. He's been doing stats. What is he doing in chat? Get your butt back in the stats truck. Shout
You
out
have
to Rochelle
to
Costa.
dock that from his pay, Jeff.
3rd and 6. Yeah, Tom Rahman and Rochelle Colston have been doing yeoman's work stats for the stats team. Thank you guys so much for doing what you do. I know we said it enough, but we can't say it. Can't say it more than enough times. As it falls incomplete. As it looks like the second string units have come out onto the field for Baltimore, at least, as the pass was batted away.
They continue to try that post route, and Baltimore continues to bat it down.
Martin Johnstone with the deflection there, the strong safety coming in to relieve Giovanni Bolt.
Pressed man by this Baltimore secondary. Can they hold up with the backups?
We'll have to see. Alexander Gold throwing it deep, and it's almost going to be intercepted. That was Johnston yet again. Someone get this man a contract.
Get that
Big plays.
Get that man a contract because the corner was beat on the play, but good thing his buddy back there playing safety.
Number 62 saying, what's up, peeps? But yeah, Marvin Johnston, boy, oh boy, 2 big plays coming in, and he seemed to have perfect recognition of that play. He saw the receiver come across the middle, and he just jumped in front of it to bat it away. And so that was a turnover on downs. Baltimore will take the knees here as New Orleans calling a timeout. They got 1 left. Ivy Irvin, this broadcast team was really entertaining. Well, I'm glad that we added some entertaining thoughts along the way. I know we got off the rails a little bit at some points, but hey, what are you gonna do? Week 12. This was a good send-off for both teams. It didn't come off on the right footing for the Pharaohs, as they will fall to 4-8 on the season, just short of the playoffs. Meanwhile, Baltimore, riding the loss from last week, they will be at 8-4. As the Pharaohs take their final timeout. They got no timeouts left, cannot stop the game clock. And so the V formation will do it in this game. As the final from Seattle, Houston. It was Seattle 37, Houston 24. As Seattle will finish their season with a win. And it's 4th and 15 now with just a minute left to go.
Baltimore coming to this game off the disappointing loss versus Florida last week. I can just imagine how much attention the coaches was drawing, to these players in film study all week in preparation for this game, and it showed today. After they suffered that 27-26 loss versus this same team just a few weeks ago, there was no room for error, and they came out and they were sharp on both sides of the ball.
Camp Commanded is saying, "Let's go Wildcats." So I wonder I wonder if he is from Chicago, because we might have another buddy, Eddie.
A lot of people from Chicago here. You got both the Hands brothers, James and Donnie Hands. You got yourself. You got BJ Loveless. You've got Johnny Pickler. I mean, Chicago is just well represented in this league.
You, before you traded and went to the weather.
I'm from there, but my wife got tired of freezing. In fact, the day we moved, it was 28 below outside. The day we closed on our house here, it was 28 below in Chicago.
We have to see. I'm waiting for Camp Commanded to possibly type something saying if he's actually from Chicago. But he said, "Let's go Wildcats." So I mean, he's got to be a Chicago fan. So we might have another Chicago fan on our hands.
I'm gonna have to buy and ship Camp Commandment and Arizona Scorpions hat or something and remind him of our alliance together.
You're gonna have to make that's the T-shirt that he wanted you to make. As
Hey,
deep downfield, Edgeloni getting past the Baltimore Vultures, and he's into the end zone. What a throw from Alexander Golden, and that's sometimes why you don't take the starters out. As Edgeloni with a touchdown with just 3 seconds left to go, as Pharaohs inching a little bit closer. That was a 69-yard touchdown play to Edgeloni for his first touchdown of the game.
When he caught it, I was just wondering if he's going to have the speed and endurance to get to the end zone, but he was able to do so, and making this game look a lot closer than what it actually was.
And that is career touchdown number 50 for Badir Edgeloni. So
congratulations, young man.
50 SFL touchdowns is 50 SFL touchdowns is no easy feat, and he's done it week in, week out. And here, tacks on his 50th in the last game, the last minute, the last 10 seconds of week 12 of season 14.
Only 40 plus behind the all-time leader, DR Sim of Houston.
You know, DR is going to keep playing until he can't walk no more, so that he can keep the record to himself.
That's right, young man. I wouldn't come off the field either.
Oh, he is in the chat. The onside kick goes to Baltimore. Camp Commandant is in the chat. He's a corner for the Wildcats, Eddie.
Oh, what's his player? What's your player name, young man?
Don't type when you're in a broadcast, man.
Yeah, that's right.
I
forgot I got this.
You're pounding on it like you hate it or something.
Yeah, like Ray said earlier.
Grief, we can't do anything around here. Cam is like, what the heck's going on?
What the heck's going on? He thought someone was in distress.
And that will be the end of the ball game. The Vultures moving on. They will go into the playoffs at 8-4. The New Orleans Pharaohs will come up short at 4-8. Eddie, just give us some of your final thoughts on the ball game.
Wow, like we said at halftime, Baltimore came out. They knew that New Orleans was trying to stop this run game that they deploy, and they came out in the very first play of the game and said, okay, you want to stop the run? Go ahead and stop Daily Hold on this bomb on the very first play of the game. Once they loosened up that secondary, they fed T-Roy, fed him often. He ate all day. The defense played well when they needed to. The backups came in and, made things look a bit closer than what it was. But overall, a fantastic performance on both sides of the ball by this team.
It was, as we take a look at just some of the final stats on the ball game today. Mike Dazo, 357 yards, 29 of 35, 82, just shy of 83% completion percentage. As he was 3 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, so he finished. It seemed like the second half was not Dazo's best, as he finishes with 3 interceptions. Alexander Gold on the other side, 339 yards. He was 30 of 44 for 68% completion, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He able to right the ship, get his QBR up a little bit, but there was a time where he was below 50 in the QBR, so he finished nicely. But I think the player of the game, T-Roy Gaines, 223 rushing yards, 19 attempts, 3 touchdowns. He finishes with 11.7 yards per carry.
Has to be T-Roy Gaines, finished with 210 yards rushing. My goodness, think about that. The record is 300 plus yards, and he was 100 off of that. So,
yeah.
Wow. Just to think about all the athletes across this league and how far this league has come. Offense just displayed all over the place, along with some great defensive players as well. He has to be the player of the game today, Jeff.
That's what I believe it will be. He every time he got the carry, trucking guys left and right, he made the most of his carries. But also just Badir Edgeloni, 150 receiving yards, 9 receptions, and he had 1 touchdown. He had a long as 69 yards. Also for the Pharaohs, you got Deezer Powell, 105 yards, 8 receptions. As we take a look at the player of the game, and we were right. T. Roy Gaines, your player of the game.
Takes a lot of stress off your quarterback when you can just turn around and hand the ball off and get productive yardage out of your tailback. Makes things a lot easier for that passing game.
But we got 2 games left to go, London and Chicago, then Florida, Mexico City. For Jeff Melanishin, Eddie Gage, Rochelle Colston, and Thomas Rahman, thank you everybody for tuning in to today's ball game on the SFL on YouTube. Have a great week and enjoy the rest of the rest of Week 12 heading into the playoffs.
Thanks for coming. Good night. Drive home safely.